Hello everyone, this is Dr. Sanjeev Padvi, and my dear students, we will be studying one of the very wonderful topic for grade 10 ICSE, and name of this topic is Climate of India. Okay, I am very sure you people must have heard the term climate. You also must have heard the name weather, and you might be wondering whether climate and weather are the same terms. I repeat, weather, climate and weather are same terms. Okay, now before we go to the actual definition of climate, let us look at a very important word called weather. Okay, I would like to draw your attention to the three pictures which I have put up here. You see in a picture number 1 here, the clouds are started getting collected over a piece of land. Okay, in picture number 2, my students, you will find that it has begun to rain. In a picture number 3, you will notice that the rain is now over and you can see there a beautiful rainbow. Now all these things happen just in a span of maybe 3 to 4 or 5 to 6 hours, that also in one day itself. In morning, it may start becoming cloudy. In afternoon, it may start raining, and in evening, after the rain is over, you might see a rainbow. That means here the condition of the atmosphere, okay, the condition of atmosphere is changing after 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours in a daytime many times. When the condition of atmosphere like this changes in a span of 2-3 hours or in one day itself, we say the weather is changing. That means weather is nothing but the present condition of atmosphere. I repeat, weather is nothing but a present condition of atmosphere. Now let us look at the term climate. Okay, now if I ask you that in the month of December, what kind of clothes are worn by people, and your answer will be obvious. I'm very sure you will be telling that most of the people will wear woolen clothes during winter time, and your answer is correct. Most of them will be using woolen clothes during winter time. Okay, now when the summer season come, you must have seen that most of the people wear loose clothes, most of the people wear white color clothes. So this indicates that during summer time, that means from March to May, you will be expecting hot climatic conditions in India. Similarly, from month of June till the month of December, more or less, you will experience rain is going to occur in India. What does this mean? This means when we speak about a month, we can tell overall condition of the atmosphere. For example, in the month of March, we can say it will be very much hot, the wind will be blowing faster. Similarly, in the month of July, we will expect the sky becoming cloudy. We will expecting the rainfall to occur. So in this way, the word climate refers to the overall condition of atmosphere. Now please understand one very important thing, that in order to determine, in order to decide the overall condition of atmosphere, we have to study that particular place for a period of almost 25 to 30 years. Okay, sometimes even 35 years you'll have to spend over there. Then you can decide what will be the overall condition, the general condition of the atmosphere given during the given time. Okay, so there is a big difference between the word atmosphere, the word weather, and word climate. Weather will tell you the present condition of atmosphere. We might say it's raining, we might say, oh, it's cloudy, we might say, oh, it's cold. So we are describing the present condition of the atmosphere. That is what we call by the name weather. But when we talk about the overall condition of the atmosphere during a particular time, during a particular month, we are talking about the term called climate. So climate is what? It is the overall atmospheric condition, overall atmospheric conditions. And as I already told you, in order to decide the overall condition, you will have to spend there, or the people have to spend almost 30 to 35 years to tell about the average condition of the atmosphere. Okay, so I hope this thing is clear, the main difference between the word weather and climate. Okay, now as I said in the beginning, we are going to study about climate of India. Okay, now I will ask you to please look at this title. What do you see written over there? It's the hot and dry, and the word used is summer. Okay, so the first season of our country, okay, or you can say the climate of India, okay, is having 4 distinct seasons, out of which the first season is the hot and dry summer season, and that summer season lasts in India for 3 months, from the month of March till the month of May. Okay, after May, the month of June comes. So June, July, August, September, this period is also the hot climatic conditions. Okay, during this time also it's hot, but at the very same time it's raining during that time in our country, so conditions are wet, and that is why the second season is termed as hot and dry rainy season. You can also call it southwest monsoon season, and about which we will be studying in detail in later part. After the month of September, okay, we will have another month. Then that month is from December till the month of February. That is our third important season of our country, which is also termed as winter season. Now during winter season time, most of the time you will find it is cold. At that time it is a dry means during that time there is no rainfall. So then we will say, oh, it's a condition when it's basically cold and dry. Therefore it is our third season, and we call it by the name winter season, also termed as northeast monsoon season. Now why it is called as northeast monsoon season, that we will be studying later on. Then you must be wondering, then from where this fourth season has come. As I said before, that in India we experience 4 seasons. Okay, so most of the time people wonder that we have studied about 3 seasons: summer, winter, rainy season. From all of a sudden, from where this fourth season has come. Okay, and it's a very interesting topic, and we call it by the name the retreating monsoon season, and that occurs after the rainfall. Now in the month of June it begins to rain. In the month of September the rainfall is over, but the winter season begins in the month of December. So then what happens from October to November? So that period is termed as the period of retreating monsoon, about which again, as I said, we will be studying step by step in detail. Okay, now let us now look at why there are different seasons on the earth. Okay, my students, please remember that basically there are 2 reasons for the seasons on earth. Okay, I hope you people have studied in your lower classes that earth is tilted at 23.5 degree. Earth is tilted like this. Okay, so if this, my hand represents the sun, okay, and my right hand represents the tilted axis of the earth. So if the upper part is showing the north pole, and if this part is my left hand is showing you the sun, so when the north pole is tilted towards the sun, so the northern part will receive more light, the southern part will receive less light, and that is why in a northern hemisphere we will have summer season, and in southern hemisphere at the same time, because it is away from the sun, the southern hemisphere is away from the sun, therefore it will have winter condition. But as you people know, the earth is not stationary. Earth keep on moving around the sun. We call it by the name revolution of the earth. Now again, imagine my this hand is showing you the sun. This hand is showing the tilted axis of the earth. So when earth will begin to move around the sun, now this part has come towards the sun. That's why the southern part will receive more light and the northern part will receive less light. Therefore, in southern hemisphere, we will have the summertime because it is tilted towards the sun, whereas in the northern hemisphere, we will have winter because it is tilted away from the sun. If the earth's axis was not tilted, if the earth was moving, okay, straight this way, then each part would have received equal light from the sun, and then there would have been no different seasons. So why do we have different seasons? Because earth's axis is what I said, tilted. If because it is tilted, some part will be towards the sun, some part will be away from the sun. If earth was not making motion around the sun, if the earth was stationary this way, then the northern part would have received the light from the sun full time, and there would have been summer season all the time in northern hemisphere, and southern hemisphere would have winter. But because earth is revolving around the sun, so when it moves on the other side here, so the southern part will come towards the sun, and that's why there will be summer. So in this way, we have seen basically there are two reasons for seasons on earth. The reason number one, we say it is the revolution of the earth around the sun, and the reason number two is the tilted axis of the earth. So in this way, basically on earth we find only two seasons. Okay, now, yeah, and as I said, we will be studying them step by step before going in a detail about the climatic conditions in our country. Okay, now let us look at the factor number one, called as the Himalayas. Okay, I am very sure you must have heard that Himalayas are the highest mountain range in the world. Okay, that's true. Please remember, Himalayas not only affect climate of our India, but they affect climate of Bhutan, Nepal, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, even China, okay, Myanmar, and many other countries. One of the documentary says that it affects the climate of almost 1/10 part of the world. Okay, so let us see how these Himalayas play important role in deciding climate of India. Okay, now students, look here very carefully. Okay, I'm going to draw here something, and I hope you people know that this line is called as Tropic of Cancer. Okay, now the part which lies to the north of Tropic of Cancer, that part is away from the equator, quite far away from equator, so it will be comparatively cold, whereas in southern side it will be comparatively hotter. Okay, because this southern side is quite close to the equator. Okay, now please understand that when the winds are blowing from the sea towards the land, I repeat, when the winds blow from the sea towards the land, these winds will be bringing moisture with them. So what will happen to this moisture? So when this moisture is moving forward along with the wind, the rainfall will start occurring, and ultimately these winds keep on moving and get blocked here by the Himalaya mountain. Okay, now what will happen? Now once the winds are getting blocked by the Himalaya mountain, now those winds cannot go backward because south the winds are already moving from this side. So these winds, after getting blocked, begin to rise upward, and as soon as they start rising upward, the moisture in them begin to get condensed and it starts coming down in a form of rain. Now please remember very important thing. As I said, Himalayas are the highest mountain range in the world. So what will happen? All the winds coming from India moving towards China, okay, towards China. China is here. In between China and India, here is Himalaya mountain. So what will happen? The winds which come from the sea towards land, these winds which are carrying rain with them, ultimately getting blocked here by Himalaya mountain, and therefore India will get maximum rainfall. That is a very good effect of this mountain, okay, my dear students, on climate of India, that they block the southwest monsoon winds, they block the rain carrying winds and give maximum rain to India. But when they cross the equator, cross the mountain and go to China, there is no rain left in them, or very little rain left in them. Okay, now let us look at the second effect of this Himalaya mountain. Okay, now as I said some time back, here this is equator. As you move away from equator, it start becoming colder. So when you go towards China, it is very cold over there. And when the cold winds start blowing from China towards India, suppose here is let us say here is Himalaya mountain, and when the cold winds come from China towards India, this Himalayas will block those cold winds, and India will be protected from the cold winds coming from China, coming from Arctic Ocean, or you can say coming from the north. And in this way, Himalayas keep the climate of India warm. They protect us from very cold winds which come from China. They also block the rain carrying winds from going out of India, and this is how they give lot of rain to us. Okay, so as I said some time back, you can see here actually the winds over here. You can actually see these winds. Okay, this white color that you are seeing over here, they are the snow covered mountain. Okay, these are snow covered mountain, my dear students, you are looking at. Okay, this snow covered mountain is Himalaya mountain. So these are Himalaya mountain. Okay, and these are the winds which are actually getting blocked. Do you see here lot of greenery? Okay, this lot of greenery is due to the heavy rainfall, okay, that occurs in that region when Himalayas block the southwest monsoon winds. Now if you look at China, okay, there is hardly any greenery. What will be the reason? Yes, you are right, Himalayas will block there. Okay, so if I draw Himalayas here, okay, what the Himalayas will do, these Himalayas will block the cold winds coming from China, and they will block the rain carrying winds moving from India. So in this way, they will be playing important role in deciding climate of India. You can see in this picture, okay, that the Himalayas are actually blocking these clouds. Okay, clouds are unable to pass them, unable to cross them, I mean to say. That's why torrential rain will occur in India. Okay, now Again, this picture will make it very clear. You will see that here I have written China, okay, and you can see these cold winds coming from China towards India, and you will see here these Himalaya mountain on the way, okay, Himalaya mountain on the way are blocking those cold winds coming from China, okay. Similarly, you will see a lot of part of India is in green color thanks to the heavy rainfall that occurs in India because southwest monsoon winds are getting blocked by the. Okay, now I hope the first factor called Himalayas are clear to you. Okay, so let us now look at the second factor that affects the climate of India. Okay, now let us say this is India. As you people are aware, here is Arabian Sea, here is south, so here is Indian Ocean, and on the east side there is Bay of Bengal. In simple words, India's southern part is covered by water on three sides, okay, and this play very important role in deciding climate of India. Now let us see how. Now let us say that now please remember, suppose this is sea. What I have drawn is sea. Let us say this straight line represents land. Okay, so on one side there is sea, other side is land. Now let us say here is the sun. So when the sunlight will fall on sea water and when the sunlight will fall on land, both of them will get heated equally or unequally. What do you think? You are right. Land will be heated faster, correct? Whereas water will get heated slowly. Okay. If land gets heated faster, that means here will be the high temperature, and on sea water the temperature will be comparatively low. Because of the high temperature on land, there will be low pressure, atmospheric pressure, whereas on sea water, because temperature is low, there is going to be the high pressure. Now what will happen? You are right. The wind will blow from the sea towards the land. So that's why the high temperature on land will start getting decreased because of the cool winds which are coming from the sea towards land. So this is how what the seas have done, or what does the water has done, sea has done here. They have moderated, they have influenced the climate of coastal area. Okay, now remember one very interesting thing. During night time, I repeat, during night time, opposite things happen. Now what are those opposite things which are going to happen? Now see, land absorbs heat very quickly, but land loses the heat also very quickly. So therefore at night time the land will become cool. But sea has water, has got very interesting characteristic that they absorb the heat slowly, but they lose the heat also slowly. So sea, which has absorbed the heat during daytime, is now warm at night. Okay, and at the same time the land will be cool. So what will happen? Yes, you are right. Because water is warm, temperature will be more here, and therefore on water there is going to be low pressure, and on the land, because it is cool here, the pressure will be high. Now during this time, night time, the wind will blow from where? From the land towards the sea. Okay, also this sea water will transfer some of its heat towards the land, and that is why the land will also not become cool very quickly. In very simple words, The areas which are close to the sea, they neither experience very high temperature nor very less temperature, and this happens because of what? Because of the water. That is what we call the moderating effect of sea. Okay, now you can see there in the picture here, okay, sea breeze, है ना? It's a daytime, and what will happen during the daytime? You can see here the wind is blowing from where? From the sea towards the land. And what is happening during this time? Because wind is blowing from the sea towards the land, and this wind is cool, therefore the condition near the seashore will also start cooling down. That means temperature will not increase. At the same time, what is going to happen at night? Okay, now let us look at this before we go further. You can see there one lady standing near a seashore. Okay, observe her carefully. Where do you see her dupatta, her cloth flying? You are right, it is flying away from the sea. That means wind must be blowing from the sea towards the land. This is what we call by the name sea breeze. Okay, so during daytime, sea breeze is blowing from the sea towards the land. I hope this point is clear. Okay, you can see this another lady standing here. Okay, you can see her hair blowing away from the sea, which indicate that the wind must be blowing from the sea towards the land. Okay, now what will happen at night? We have already seen at that time, because water is going to be warm. Water is going to be warm. So therefore, the temperature will be higher. Therefore, there is going to be the low pressure. And on the land at that time, the pressure will be high. So the wind will blow from the land towards the sea. And we call it by the name land breeze. Okay. So what do we learn? That during daytime, the sea breeze is blowing. From where does the sea breeze blow? It blows from the sea towards the land. During night time, the wind blows from the land towards the sea. Okay, and this is how the temperature keep on getting distributed, and that is why here we, not temperature exactly, sorry, the heat getting distributed, and because of that the conditions near the coastal area, okay, they are affected by the sea, and that is what we call by the name moderating effect of the sea. It is known as moderating effect of sea. Okay, another important thing, this type of climatic condition also called as maritime type of climatic conditions. Maritime climatic conditions, or another word used for them is equable climatic condition. Equable means climate remains almost same, neither very hot, not very, nor very less. So it is almost equal. So it is equable climatic conditions. And maritime, and another word is given to it, and this effect of the sea is known as moderating effect of the sea. Okay, as you can see here, okay, it's evening time. Okay, now look at this branches of the tree. Okay, what do you see? These branches of the tree are seem to be moving towards the sea. So what does it indicate? You are right, it means the wind must be blowing from the land towards the sea during evening time. You are right. Okay, now the third factor is called as impact of prevailing winds. I repeat, it is called as impact of prevailing winds. Okay, what is this impact of prevailing winds? Okay, if I draw here India, if I write here summer, it means during summer in India there is going to be the low pressure, and because in India there is going to be the low pressure, Okay, at that time there is going to be the high pressure in southern part. And what will happen because of that? Okay, what will happen because of that? You are right. The winds will blow from south towards the north, and they will carry moisture. And as you can see in this picture over here, that the main part of India is getting covered with the clouds. So in this way, the prevailing winds which are blowing from the sea towards land are carrying moisture, and in this way will result into the origin of next season, that will be the uh, rainy season. Okay, now in winter season, okay, if I draw here India, in winter it is going to be cold in India, so therefore there is going to be the high pressure we have studied just now. If I draw this equator, that means in southern hemisphere there is going to be summer, so there is going to be the low pressure. Now the prevailing winds will be blowing from where? From the northern hemisphere towards southern hemisphere, and these winds will be blowing from land towards where? Towards the sea. And these winds are now, because they are blowing from the land, they will not carry moisture. Therefore, during this time, there is going to be no rainfall. That means the prevailing winds will decide whether it's going to be the rainfall in India or it's going to be the dry season. This is what we call by the name impact of prevailing winds. Okay. Now let us look at the next factor. Okay, please understand this word prevailing wind. Prevailing means the winds which prevail, which are present at a particular time. Okay, suppose I draw here India and I write here summer or hot climatic conditions. That means there is going to be the low pressure. If I draw here equator, okay, so because it is going to be hot in northern hemisphere, it will be cold in southern hemisphere, and the prevailing winds will be blowing from the sea towards India. And that is why they will carry moisture and will result into the uh, origin of monsoon season. That means origin of rainy season. Okay, on the contrary, if the winds are going to blow from land towards the sea, the winds will be dry and therefore there won't be any rainfall during that particular time. Okay, so in this way we get to know the third factor called as the prevailing winds. Okay, now let us look at a fourth factor that affects climate of India, and that fourth factor is called as relief feature. Okay, now please remember what is the meaning of the word relief feature. Meaning of the word relief is basically the arrangement of the land in a form of mountain, plateau, plain. That is what we call by the name relief feature. Okay, now if Himalaya mountain was not here, then there would have been not much rainfall in India. We have seen that one. That means a relief feature called Himalayas have played important role. Similarly, if I draw here India, okay, my dear students, and if I draw here a mountain called as Western Ghat, so when the winds will come from the sea towards India, the Western Ghats will block them. So on western side here, there will be more rainfall. On eastern side, the rainfall will be comparatively low. That means relief feature called Western Ghat will decide on which side will be more rainfall, where will be the less rainfall. That means the climate is affected by the relief feature. Okay, now let us look at the next factor. Okay, okay, but before going to the next factor, look at this picture carefully. Okay, if this mountain is indicating Western Ghat, okay, You can see the winds coming from the sea towards the land. So they will be blocked here by the Western Ghat, and more rainfall will occur on the west side comparative to the east side. That means the rainfall distribution will be depending upon the physical feature, or as I said, relief feature. Okay, I was talking about this Western Ghat. Okay, now if I ask you a question, which of the two places will receive more rainfall, Nasik or Mumbai? Think, which of the two places will receive more rainfall? Nasik will receive more rainfall or Mumbai? You are right. Mumbai will receive more rainfall. Why? Because Mumbai is on western side of the Western Ghat. So Western Ghats are going to block the winds, and therefore the western side will receive more rainfall than the eastern side. Okay, you can see here a actual picture of Western Ghat, my dear students. You can see here lot of greenery. Okay, you can also see in the over here the clouds are getting blocked by the mountain here, here. That means there is going to be more rainfall because of this in this area. Okay, so in this way we understand that the physical feature, or instead of saying the word physical feature, we use the word relief feature. That relief feature also plays important role in deciding climate. Okay, where will be more rainfall, where will be the less rainfall. Okay, and there is going to be a more explanation coming up on this topic. Okay, as we study this topic further and further. Okay, I'll show you one more picture, my dear students. You can see this picture that you see here in this slide is actual Western Ghat. Okay, it's the satellite image of Western Ghats. Okay, and you can see here on the western side, western coastal plain. Okay, on eastern side, this is a plateau region. So what will happen? So when the winds will be blowing, okay, from sea towards the land, the Western Ghat will be blocking, and this area will be receiving more rainfall. Okay, so relief feature play very important role in deciding climate. Okay, this is another picture, satellite image of South India. You can see here. Okay, lot of greenery here. Comparatively on this side there is less greenery. What is the reason, children? Yes, Western Ghats will block the winds, therefore western side will receive more rain. That means western side will be having more trees. So here the climate will be comparatively cooler as compared to the other side where the greenery will be less. So in this way we understand that the relief feature play very important role. Okay, now another picture. Now look at the rainfall that is occurring in Mumbai. Okay, and now I have also put up here a photograph of rainfall occurring in Nasik city. You will must have realized that in Mumbai the train was almost in water, whereas in Nasik it's not very much. And the reason is what? We already seen, my dear students, that Nasik is on eastern side of Western Ghat and Mumbai is on western side of Western Ghat. And Western Ghats block the winds coming from the sea. Therefore, Mumbai, which is on the western side, will receive more rainfall. Okay. Now, let us look at the next very important factor called as latitudinal position. Okay. It is easy to understand. Okay. Please remember one very important thing. If I draw here Tropic of Cancer, okay, and you people know to south of India there is equator. Okay, so this region is termed as tropical zone. This is tropical zone, whereas the part which is to the north of this Tropic of Cancer is actually the temperate zone, but in India we call it subtropical zone because here it's not very cold? Can you tell me the reason? Okay, I'm giving you a hint. Here is Himalaya mountain. And what do the Himalayas mountain do? We have seen in a first factor affecting climate of India. You are right. They block the cold winds coming from China. Therefore, this part doesn't become very cold. That means it is still warmer. That is why it is called as subtropical zone. But on the whole, as you move from south to north, the climate of India will start becoming cold. Okay. So latitudinal position also plays very important role. Okay. Now, the next factor that plays important role, okay, we call them by the name jet streams. Now, what are these jet streams? Okay, please understand that jet streams are the high altitude winds. They blow at a very high altitude. Okay, very high altitude. Suppose this hand represents Himalaya mountain. Okay, and my right hand is representing the wind. So winds will be moving towards India. Okay, but on the way, this very tall Himalaya mountain will be there. So these winds can be blocked. Okay, jet streams, which are actually the very high altitude winds, when they blow, please understand, from the west towards India, on the way there are not many tall mountains. Okay, but when you come towards India, there is a huge Himalaya mountain. So these winds are getting blocked by the Himalaya mountains. Okay, now look at these winds very carefully. Okay, these winds are coming from Mediterranean Sea. Okay, where high pressure is there. Where are they coming? Towards India. So what will happen because of that? Correct. These winds are carrying moisture towards India, and when this moisture will be brought in India, okay. Now if I draw here India, if I draw here Himalaya mountain, these winds come towards India, getting blocked by the Himalayas. So therefore, this part will receive rainfall. Okay. Now, these winds are also called as westerly jet stream. Why they are westerly? Correct. Because they come from the western side. Okay. And once they come towards India, they cause rainfall and they cause some disturbance coming from the west. And that is why we call them by the name western disturbance. So what are the jet streams doing? So jet streams coming from the west towards India bring rainfall to India during winter time. Rainfall to India, I mean to say some part of India, that is basically Punjab and Haryana part of our country. Okay, now this is actual picture of these clouds which are brought by the westerly jet streams. Okay, they are very high altitude winds, and as you can see here in this picture, my dear students, those westerly jet streams, okay, they are getting blocked here by the Himalaya mountain. Getting blocked. The Himalaya mountain is a very tall mountain, very high mountain. You can see here formation of a lot of clouds. Okay, and those clouds upon condensation will bring rainfall to India. Okay, so this rainfall that occurs in India during winter time is known as western disturbance. It is known by another name, westerly depression. Okay, and this another name for them is temperate cyclone. So there are three names to the western disturbance. Okay, as I said, western disturbance, westerly depressions, also called as temperate cyclones, which bring rainfall to India. Okay, you can see in this picture the winds are shown coming towards India. Okay, and here Himalaya mountain blocking them. Just now we saw there is something called westerly jet stream. Similarly, there is something called easterly jet stream. Okay, now from where this easterly jet stream comes? You are right. As the name suggests, they come from the eastern side. Okay. Please remember one very important thing. These winds are responsible for something very, very important, and that is rainfall distribution in India. Okay. Rainfall distribution in India. It is observed, my dear students, that maximum rainfall occur along the path of these easterly jet streams. Okay. Now, what is the next factor that affects climate of India? Okay. Look at this picture carefully. You see a mountain? Okay. Now look at the picture which is behind here. Here is also mountain. What difference do you notice? Correct. The mountain which is to the north is covered with snow, whereas this mountain is not covered with snow. It means here there must be the less temperature, whereas the mountain number 1 here it's not much low temperature. Correct? So what can you conclude from this? It means higher the altitude, lower is the temperature. Higher the altitude, lower the temperature. You are right. That is why we will say places like Uti, Shimla, Darjeeling, which are located at high altitude, will have lower temperature. On the contrary, the places which are at lower altitude will experience high temperature. Okay. Now, let us look at the next factor called as El Nino. Please remember one very important thing. Actually, winds keep on blowing, okay, from Pacific Ocean towards India. I repeat, from Pacific Ocean towards India, the winds keep on blowing, and then these winds while blowing will also carry moisture. But something very unusual thing happens. Actually, the winds which are coming now, please understand, okay, now where I am drawing this cross, okay, here is a country called Peru, and a cold current called Peru current is moving towards the northern side. This current which is now moving towards the northern side will be a cold current. But due to some unusual reasons, I repeat, due to some unusual reasons which are yet not known to us, this cold current all of a sudden becomes warm current. Okay, after every 2 to 7 years. Some books say after every 3 to 5 years, whereas some books say it is from 2 to 7 years. Okay, so this cold current all of a sudden becomes warm, and as I said, we still do not know the reason for it. Okay, but we know the impact of it. And what is the impact? Now the impact is when this wind, when this area which will have now the high temperature will itself develop the low pressure. Now wind cannot move from low pressure to low pressure. So that means the low pressure is already start developing here on this water, and that's why the winds will not be able to come towards India, and therefore at this time what is going to happen? India will not get enough of moisture from the winds which are coming from these Pacific Ocean current, okay, to moving towards Asia. So it will carry less moisture, and that is why during that time there is going to be the less rainfall in India. Okay, so to sum up today's topic, we have studied total 8 factors which are affecting climate of India. Okay, which are those factors? Okay, the first factor is the Himalaya mountain. Factor number 2 is the moderating influence of the sea. Correct. The factor number 3 are the relief feature, that means the physical features. Factor number 4, prevailing winds, which are of two types, southwest monsoon winds and northeast monsoon winds. Point number 5 is altitude of a place. Then point 6 is latitudinal extent. Next point is the jet streams. And the last point is El Nino. Okay. So we will stop for this now, and the next topic will be covered in our next lecture. Okay. Thank you very much.